When people find out that I'm a musician, one of the first questions they ask is, how long have you been making music? And I tell them I've been rapping for 27 years and playing instruments for 21. There is a 6-year gap between those two statements, which is why I make them separately. And this video talks about why there's a 6-year gap and why I started playing instruments. I will start with the why I started playing instruments first, because it involves one of the most important things that anyone has ever said to me, while also being the harshest. So in 1999, I was finishing up work on Delve Deeper, which I was recording at home using a Sound Blaster Live card, and basically just using a keyboard as a beat machine to have, perfect timing and all of that to make my beats for, and then I was, rapping on top of those. And I had a friend come over, he was a metal guitarist, and he wanted to record his music. So we were using that same setup where you could record one thing at a time, the guitar, and then he would put his vocals down. And when we were, we kept trying, and he goes, "This isn't working." And I tell him, I was like, "Well, it works for what I do." And he said, "It may work for what you're doing, but it won't work for music." And that was harsh. I mean, that basically like ripped my heart out of my chest and told me that everything I was doing was not music. It was not what I thought it was. It discredited everything I was doing. I don't think he meant it to be that harsh. It just kind of came out. I think he was frustrated with the recording process. And a lot of people either would have just given up or become extremely defensive about that. And I took a different approach. I basically said, "You're right." And I started playing instruments. I'm self-taught, and these are the instruments that I started playing. I was using the keyboard as a drum machine at first still, and then adding my own bass and guitar, and then maybe another keyboard layer on top of it. Eventually I did get this electric drum set back here that I added the drums for. But there's a good 3 or 4 albums, Delve Deeper, Transitions, Out of the Shadows, and A Different Kid, that you just can't get on the streaming services. There's like a rare link on my website that may not even be there anymore by the time you watch this video to get those downloads, because the recording quality was terrible. Because basically I took a beat machine that, everything was perfect timing, and had all the instrumentation already done, and had to take this giant step back to start back here, because, perfect beats. It took me a long time to get to the point where it didn't sound like garbage, essentially. And it was hard. It was years of doing that, but it was a very necessary step in my musical development, in my musical career, and it is one of the greatest things about music, is that it is a never-ending challenge. No matter how good I get at music, no matter how good anybody gets at music, I can always get better, they can always get better. It's a beautiful aspect of music. And it's all because of what Rob said to me. It may work for what you're doing, but it won't work for music. Now, there's another reason why there is a 6-year gap between, me beginning my musical career and me actually playing instruments. And that's because when I was first making music, I really just saw myself as a rapper and a lyricist. And I just wanted to record music and release it, and thought that, I might be able to make a living that way. It's like the beginning of the internet, being able to self-release CDs. CD Baby had just launched, and so my goal was just to make music, record it, sell it, and hopefully make a living that way. But I finally decided after a year and a half to perform live for the first time. You can watch that video above if you would like. And that's, from a performance in 1998. But that was always really, that was my goal, was to just make music and record it. And everything that's kind of come along since was partially out of necessity, or mostly out of necessity, but also became something that I became passionate about. So the instruments, at first, it sounded terrible, but it didn't discourage me. I just kept trying to get better and kept writing music and doing what I could to improve on that. eventually I made music videos and got better at doing that. And I, designed my own website and got better at doing that. And all of that kind of stuff comes because of people saying things like, it may work for what you're doing, but it won't work for music. It's just a constant challenge to make myself better at those things. And hopefully that inspires you in some way as well. If somebody has said something harsh, if you're a creative type yourself, musician, artist, writer, somebody has said something that basically just destroyed you, hopefully you can take this, the way I responded to that, and kind of respond that way yourself and go, all right, well, maybe they know something that I don't, maybe I should take what they're saying seriously, so long as it's actually constructive. If it's just mean, then no. But if it's something that you feel like can help you improve, it's one of those things it can be very hard to deal with criticism. Sometimes it's not so constructive. Sometimes it's just heartless. And I'm sure I'll have some of those heartless comments in my YouTube videos. I've had them before. Someone will probably leave one of those comments here, and I will ignore it, because straight up nasty comments I just ignore, or sometimes just remove them and ban that person from my channel, because I like to be as positive as possible. So there you have it. That was the story of why I started playing instruments and how important that was to my musical development. If you want to know the story of how I got started rapping, you can watch that video above. And also, if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this is one of the first times where I've just kind of told a story behind my music. So if you enjoyed that and you want to see more stories, tell me that you want to see more stories. If you really just prefer the official music videos and the lyric videos and the live performance videos, just strictly music, let me know that as well, because I want to bring as much value to you as a watcher as I can, and I appreciate all of you for watching. So thank you all very much for watching, and have an incredible day.